When the Ford Focus first appeared in the 1990s, the cars people mostly bought were just like this, everyday family hatchbacks. So it was almost easy for Ford to make this a bestseller. Now, 1990s culture, fashion and music has made a bit of a comeback. So does that mean the Ford Focus is going to go through a bit of a renaissance? No, not really. A quarter of a century on and 4 model generations, and the Focus is near the end of its life. Its maker has decided to focus, get it? Sorry, on electric cars and SUVs. So the Ford Focus is going to be discontinued in 2025. And it's a real shame because even though the Focus has to compete for your money with a whole fleet of SUV and crossover rivals, as well as regular family hatchbacks, it still remains popular, which says something, we reckon, about how basically right the Focus is. But still, at least you can buy them new for a while yet. And this one very much exists second-hand, along with plenty of others at Motorpoint. It's a 2022 model, which means it's a facelift version of the current generation. And if you're interested in a pre-22 car, which is pre-facelift, you can have a look here at this review right now. This particular car is an active trim model, which means you get a bit of an outdoorsy sort of look. You get this dark grey plastic cladding and a slightly raised ride height. And being the facelift version means you get new headlights and the Ford badge is in the middle of the grille instead of the bonnet. Well, there's loads of room in here, and although the seats look supportive and comfortable, they're just not quite as supportive as they could be. And it looks very smart, but it's not as premium as even a Mazda or some of the latest Peugeots, and definitely not as much as some of the premium brands such as BMW or Audi. Most facelift models get a large central touchscreen with the stereo controls moved below the air vents. This does mean, however, that the climate controls are integrated into the touchscreen, which can be a bit of a faff. That being said, some early facelifted models still have the smaller screen, like this one, and one benefit of that is that the heater controls are still physical buttons and dials. Regardless of what system you have, at least the stereo volume control knob is physical. Well done, Ford. There are plenty of toys to play with too. All trim levels get built-in sat-nav, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus front and rear parking sensors, a heated windscreen and cruise control. While on higher spec cars, you get luxuries such as dual zone climate control, plus keyless entry and start. You might think you'll get better storage with an SUV such as a Cougar, Tiguan or Qashqai. However, this Ford Focus offers about the same. We've got movable cup holders here, somewhere to put the phone and a little bit of storage in there, and also a reasonable sized door bin and decent sized glove box. In the back, it's roomy, but in part, that is because the seat base is relatively short. That said, it's about as spacious and comfortable as you'll get in any family hatchback or small SUV. And in this car, you get seat pouches, electric windows, and somewhere to charge your devices. Not only that, this lump is relatively small, which means you can sit 3 side by side in relative comfort. One weird quirk, though, of the Ford Focus design is this bulbous window line, which is surprisingly easy to catch yourself on. Provided you've avoided that, opening the rear hatch reveals a reasonable boot. It's a good square shape and offers 375 litres of room, just a few litres shy of a Golf's boot. But there is an annoying load lip, and not even the option of an adjustable boot floor to fix that. For all its generous equipment levels and spacious interior, the Focus's USP has always been that it's great to drive. So does that still apply? Let's find out. Well, the first thing to note is the slightly increased ride height on the active trim level does soften the car's handling a little bit, but in all honesty, it is still a joy to drive. The steering is accurate and full of feel, the brakes inspire confidence, and the suspension manages to control the car's body movements without making it feel stiff and uncomfortable. This is fitted with a 6-speed manual gearbox, which has some of the best gear changes around. You can also get a Focus Active with an automatic transmission, which is also a pretty decent gearbox. The Focus comes in a variety of petrol and diesel-powered options, and there's a high-powered 2.3 litre Focus ST petrol. This Active has the 1 litre EcoBoost engine, which is full of character, has 3 cylinders and 153 brake horsepower. It packs plenty of punch, but it has quite a narrow power band. It's impressively fuel efficient though, thanks to clever mild hybrid tech, which is really a bit more like an alternator with superpowers than a proper hybrid. You can eke out some pretty decent fuel economy, probably somewhere around 40 miles per gallon in the real world. Manufacturers are increasingly dropping cars like this in favour of SUVs and crossovers, Ford included, because it is ceasing production of the Focus in 2025. And it's a shame because they're practical, comfortable and economical and often fun to drive, especially the Focus. So come on Ford, Pulp and Blur are making a comeback. It's not really time for you to lose your 90s icon, is it?